All right, boys and girls, welcome to another video where I am going to show off some of my useless Photoshop skills in the hopes that it might help you in a future project that you might have. So what I have here is a photograph of my mother-in-law. This was taken somewhere in the range of like 1967, 1968, somewhere in there. I'm not really sure. But what you can see is that over time, this photograph has kind of changed color. It's got a little bit yellower with time, and we can kind of see that if we select this color that's right here. This is supposed to be a white paper, and if you look right up here, you can see that it's kind of in this yellow range, which is not really what we want. So what I'm going to show you is a really effective technique for correcting that color. I'm not really sure where I learned it. I picked it up along the way a few years back, and it's always just kind of stuck with me. So I'd like to share that technique with you. But in order to understand why it works, we need to first do a quick lesson in color theory. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to duplicate. I'm going to create a new layer here. And I'm just going to turn this layer off real quick and grab a brush, and I'm just going to grab a very big bold color, and that is not a big bold color. Let's grab it right down here on the tip of that. So we've got this red, and I'm using an interesting brush that blends color. So I'm just going to paint down this red really quick. Now if we go directly across the color wheel and select this blue over here, and we're going to paint that down right here next to the red. Now here's the thing, these are complementary colors, right? Everybody knows what a complementary color is. If you blend two complementary colors together with one another, you get gray. Now you might ask yourself, why is that important? But I'll show you here in just a second. So if we select this color right in here, somewhere in that spot, we're going to have a gray. There's our gray. So you see that's about midway down. If I spent a little bit more time blending these colors, it would be like a 50-50 neutral gray. So complementary colors tend to just, they wipe each other out. They turn to gray whenever they're mixed, whether you're using paint or ink or digital ink. They just turn to gray, and they neutralize one another. Now, the question is, why is that important for fixing this photograph? Well, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and ditch that layer 1 right there, and I'm going to duplicate this layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Filter, and I'm going to go to Blur, and I'm going to go to Average Blur. Okay, so Average Blur takes that color cast of the entire photograph, and it just kind of says this is the average color of the whole photo. It's just kind of this kind of yellowish. If I grab that, it's right here in that middle yellow tone on the color wheel there. So what we can now do is we can now invert this color. So I'm just going to push Control I. If you're on a Mac, it would be Command I, and now we have the complementary color to that yellowish brownish tone. So we can then just change the layer mode right down here to overlay. And now that we've changed that to overlay, you can instantly see that it has corrected a number of the colors inside the shot. We're now closer to a pure white color. So if I select that, we're up here just a little bit more in that neutral zone. These things are looking more white-ish gray than they do yellow. They're not, like, if you look right up here in the color wheel, it's just right over here on that neutral tone there. So if I turn that off, you could definitely see that yellow. If I turn it back on, you can see that we've kind of corrected those colors. So this is a great place to start when you're trying to color correct old photographs that you might be trying to digitize, whether it be from a photograph or from a negative. This is a great way to just kind of reset everything back to zero and see it closer to the way that it was when it was actually photographed. I would then set this color cast. I would actually merge this layer down, and then I would just start making my adjustments for contrast, lights and darks, and all of that kind of thing to kind of begin my correction process on this restoration of this photo. So I hope that you found that little tip helpful. If you did, leave a comment for me down below. If you're here on YouTube watching this video, please leave a comment down below. If you would like to join our Patreon account, please do that. I would love the support, and I can keep bringing you videos like this that show off all of my useless knowledge that might help you become better at Photoshop or at sketching someday. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.